Hello, fellow Thomas fans, and welcome to a new series of Sodorcast, a show for reviewing and talking about all things Thomas, except All Engines Go. So, the series reviews that I finished off with last time were for the classic run. So, with this series, we start off by reviewing the hit entertainment era of the show, which, in case you're wondering, would be series 8 to 11. Or series 8 to 12 at a push. So, 2004 to 2008, I'm counting this as. Pardon me. So let's start by going back to 2004, which would have been the broadcast year for Series 8 of Thomas and Friends, which had another 26 episodes, as was the usual at that point, which took the show up to 208 episodes in total. Introducing us to such characters as, I believe, if I'm wrong here, you can correct me. Hang on a second to see if there are any new characters introduced in this series. I have it on DVD up here. Well, it doesn't say. Hang on a sec. As far as I can see, there are no new characters in the way of new engines joining the railway in this series. It's all the same as the last series. But there are a couple of notable events that happened during this series, such as Squeak, Rattle and Roll, which is where Alicia Botti visits the railway and is scared of a mouse in Percy's carriages. Alicia Botti, by the way, is a famous coloratura. What's a coloratura? Someone who can sing at incredibly high pitch. Yeah. And then we have Percy's big mistake, which is Percy overhearing the Fat Controller telling railway workers to send Percy to the scrapyard on a special job. And Percy thinks he's being scrapped. And the third episode of note I'm going to point out is Henry and the Wishing Tree, which is basically when Henry and the Wishing Tree, It's when when Henry sees children crowding around an old tree, and his driver tells him it's a wishing tree. So he wishes he could take the express instead of Gordon, and gets his wish. Now, really, it's one of these episodes about a superstition, but this episode is the start. This series actually started off the era of educational segments being introduced into the show. So this would be in between episodes. They would have an educational segment teaching you about an engine or getting you to guess which engine they're describing. That sort of thing. So yes, this is the first time in the history of this show where I'm actually going to rate a season down a bit, because we come off 7 good series. Series 8 is not very good. No, in fact, it is not one of the better seasons. But if you're looking to educate your kids on anything to do with Thomas, and you want to start way back at the very beginning of the franchise's history, don't do it with the TV show. Do it with the Railway Series books. So, what's my overall rating of Series 8 of Thomas and Friends? I'm gonna have to give it 3 Henrys out of 5. Well, actually, no, I'll take it down to 2.5 Henrys out of 5. So, guys, that's my thoughts on Series 8 of Thomas and Friends. Next time, we get into the first of the specials that was made during the show's run. And that will, of course, be the special that took place in between Series 8 and 9. So this would be Calling All Engines. Next time. Until then, though, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a peep peep some magical time. Hi guys, and welcome, fellow Sodor fans, to the second episode of the second series of Sodorcast, the show where I talk about and review all things Thomas, apart from you know what. So, we're in the hit entertainment era of the series now. Last time I reviewed Series 8, so there are 2 things to review in this episode. And those 2 things are the first special they ever did, Calling All Engines, and the second full series of this era, Series 9. Calling All Engines first. Okay, so here we go. So Calling All Engines was the very first feature-length Thomas the Tank Engine special. And it has to do, it was released in 2005, by the way. And it has to do with a new airport opening up in Springfield for holidaymakers to on Sodor for holidaymakers to come. And all this while, Tidmouth sheds are also being redesigned and rebuilt. And the diesels have it as their important job. But the steam engines aren't too happy with this, and Thomas mixes around the materials with other things. And yes, the special does bring back Diesel 10 from Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Because it all boils down to, in the end, the steam engines and diesels having to work together. So that moral again. When Sir Topham Hatt, that's the Fat Controller, announces the building of a new airport on Sodor, old rivalries between steam engines and diesels rapidly resurface. A trick by Thomas backfires badly, and soon the future of the island and Sir Topham Hatt's railway is in jeopardy. Sounds fun, right? Well, this is the first special to come out during the hit entertainment era, and that era was known for adding educational segments into the episodes. My opinion of the special before moving on, it's not the best. There you go. It's not the best special to have come out of Thomas and Friends. We'll get to those down the line. Series 9, which also aired in 2005, sorry, brings back the series with 26 episodes. It says 26 thrilling episodes not to be missed. Well, that's debatable. Now, as there are 26 episodes in the series, I myself am going to point out a few ones that I personally think are notable for this season. So, those would be Mighty Mac. There's the introduction of Mighty Mac, the twin-faced engine. Rheneas and the Dinosaur. Exact memory of the plot escapes me. I haven't seen the series in a while. But yes, Rheneas, I think, being tasked with a special delivery of a dinosaur statue, but being an engine, thinks it's a real dinosaur. Okay. I might be wrong about that. And, of course, we have Thomas's milkshake muddle, where Thomas is getting in a muddle with milkshakes. Now, I should actually point out that around this time is when Sharon Miller became the head writer for the show, so it's universally panned among fans. So my overall opinion of the season? Nah, not that good, but being a completionist, of course I need to have it in my collection. Okay, so guys, we're actually drawing closer to the end of the hit entertainment era. Series 10 is the next review. So what am I going to talk about after the hit entertainment era? You'll have to wait and see. Because I will be going into other topics. So I'll see you next time for the Series 10 review. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Peep peep! Hello fellow Thomas fans, and welcome to a new episode of Sodorcast. The show for reviewing and talking about everything to do with Thomas, as we know it, not all engines go. And I've been reviewing every series recently. And you know, last time I actually did a double bill of reviews for Calling All Engines and Series 9. So now, it's time to jump ahead in the hit era to Season 10, or Series 10, which would have aired on Nick Jr., I believe, originally, in 2006. Now, what sets this series apart from the rest is this has 2 extra episodes. Yes, it has 28 episodes instead of the then usual 26. And, well, this would be the 3rd series of the hit entertainment era. The second one to be head written by Sharon Miller. Yes, she who must not be named in the Thomas fandom. and it introduces the characters of Rocky, Rosie, Fearless Freddy, and Jeremy the Jet Plane. And unfortunately, in this series, I don't have any notable episodes to point out to you. So, well, actually, there may be a couple. Because who can forget the episode The Green Controller, where Percy is put in charge of the railway and forces James to undergo some colour alterations from red to pink, and then from pink to bumblebee colour. Yes, that's a callback to when he was stung by a bee, by the way. And Thomas and the Jet Plane, which introduces Jeremy the Jet Plane to us for the first time. But really, these 28 episodes are from what is in the fandom known as the boring educational, or the bland educational borefest era. And also, need I even point out, we're now 262 episodes into these reviews. Well, when I say that, not in the show. We're 262 episodes into Thomas by this series end. Because of the 2-episode extension. So, if I had to rate Series 10, guys, honestly, my rating for it would be a 4 out of 10. Because there are some episodes there that are notable to me, but maybe not to you. So, you know what that means for the next review, guys. Series 11. The penultimate series of the model era, before they would dabble in experimentations with CGI. So, that's it for this episode. Join me next time as I review Series 11. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hello, fellow Thomas fans, and welcome to another episode of Sodorcast, the fan series for all Thomas fans. I'm sorry it's taken so long to get around to this episode. But today we're going over Series 11. Yeah, that's right. The fourth series of the Hit Entertainment era. Well, not actually the fifth, isn't it? Sorry, the fifth series of the Hit Entertainment. No, sorry. Anyway, this series aired in 2007, 26 episodes, taking the total count to 288. And this series actually introduces us to such new characters as Whiff. The 26 episodes. Okay, now I'm going to highlight some of the episodes that you'll find in this series. This series contains such episodes as Emily's Rubbish, in which Emily tries to get other engines to help her take some rubbish to the dump. And certain reactions are priceless. And Thomas and the Stinky Cheese, which is this series' ender. Thomas has to make a special delivery with stinky cheese. And Hector the Horrid. It's about a truck who is perceived as horrid. His name is Hector, but it's just a perception. He's actually a nice truck, and he's a bit different looking to all the other trucks. And then, of course, there's Percy and the left luggage, in which Percy accidentally, I think he has to make, I haven't seen the episode in a while, so I think he either leaves luggage behind by accident or has to make a special delivery with the luggage that gets left behind. And, of course, you want a bit of laziness. Does anyone remember the Series 2 episode Dirty Work? Well, take a look. At this episode right here. Does that title look familiar to you? Lazy. They just took an episode title they'd already used and reused it. And also, do you remember the Series 1 episode, Thomas in Trouble? Where he gets in trouble with the police? What's this right here? Another reused episode title. Okay, so I think you get the picture. Other than that, though, this is a good series. And, well, your collection wouldn't be complete without it. So, guys, next time I will be reviewing, it will be another double bill. I will be reviewing The Great Discovery and Series 12. The Last Hurrah for the Model Era. And their first attempt at computer animation. So until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hello and Happy New Year to you fellow Thomas fans, or Sodorites, and welcome back to Sodorcast. For the first episode of 2024, we continue where we left off with Series 2. And we're going to be reviewing The Great Discovery, which is the 2008 feature-length movie special, which was a blend of the models and, well, they got CGI faces. This was an experiment the Thomas team were working on. So what's the story of The Great Discovery? Well, after Thomas has an accident where he falls down a mine, he ends up slipping into the long-forgotten town of Great Waterton. And when the Fat Controller learns of this, he arranges to have the town fixed up and made inhabitable again for Sodor Day. And he brings in a new engine called Stanley to help along with Thomas's jobs, while Thomas is working in Great Waterton getting that fixed up. Thomas gets jealous of Stanley and tries to do away with him, which then leads the other engines to hating Thomas and causing him to, run away. And, well, geez, I wonder which Pixar film this story sounds like. If you said Toy Story, give yourself a gold star. Okay. Because then the engines end up feeling guilty over when they learn that Thomas is sorry for what he's done and wants to be forgiven, whatever. They go looking for him to apologize for hating him, or for not believing him, because he gives Stanley all these hard jobs to do to sabotage his work. Thomas and Woody, Stanley and Buzz. Yeah, this is just Toy Story, but told as a Thomas story. And it's one of the best movie-length specials they actually made of Thomas. And I'm not joking. Okay, so now, guys, that's my review of The Great Discovery. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And the next thing up for review will be Series 12. The last series done using the models, and the first one to use CGI, but only on their faces. And the human characters. Okay, like in this special. So, until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Sodorcast, the show for talking about all things Thomas that are not all engines go. And it's now time to review Series 12, which aired in 2008. And this was a combination of the models with CGI faces. Obviously done in lieu of The Great Discovery, which came before it. Anyway, so it aired in 2008. 20 episodes in this season. The first season to actually fall below the 26 episode count. And that actually at the time brought the show to 308 episodes. So yeah. And the episodes here are still within the 7-minute time range. But that was soon to change. And no, Pierce Brosnan does not narrate the story as he does in The Great Discovery, even though that was planned. Instead, they went back to having Michelangelo narrate it. So, and, well, for the first time ever in one of these reviews, there are no notable episodes I can think of to pick from this series of the show. Is that any type of surprise to you? I certainly hope not. But one thing that does make this series notable to me is that, again, it is the last one to be made using the railway models. And the first one to experiment with CGI faces. And this was before the whole show would be made in CGI from 2009 onwards. But we'll get to that era of the show in the next series of this show. Because it's the largest, or, you know, It's the last, or penultimate, and largest era of the show as we know it. So just keep all of that in mind. And of course, now you're probably wondering, does it bring Stanley from The Great Discovery into the show? Yeah, it does. Or as I'm now going to refer to him, the Buzz Lightyear of the Thomas universe. Okay. So, that's it for this review, guys. The first time I've reviewed a series of Thomas and Friends and had nothing positive to say about it apart from, well, one or two things. So, even though I've not ranted. So, in the next episode, guys, I am going to be highlighting some YouTubers that have also made Thomas content over the years. And I think you know who some of these YouTubers are if you're subscribed to their channels and watch their videos. But I'm not going to shout any of them out here. That's in the next episode. So until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh well, look what it's time for again, another Sodorcast. And this time I'm using this episode to highlight some Thomas YouTube channels. Now, just to reiterate, the only channels that are dedicated solely to Thomas content. So, YouTubers that have Thomas content on their channels, but don't focus their channel solely on the franchise, will not be included here. Are we clear? Good. So the first channel I'd like to highlight is Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3, or as the fans would know him, T1, E2, H3. Now, what gives his channel the highlight is his Engines of Sodor series. Well, I haven't personally seen any of it. I've heard it's actually a good series from fans who have seen it. And I have seen some of his content. So, yeah, I wouldn't be highlighting it otherwise. Next up is the Thomas Theorist. And as his channel name suggests, he theorizes about Thomas. And he talks about other TV shows and films about talking trains. Next up, under the highlight reel, is Thomas Wooden Railway. Now, this YouTuber has a whole channel where he dedicates it to talking about, well, the Thomas Wooden Railway collection. And he has a web series, Thomas Wooden Railway Adventures, which I believe is currently in its 18th season. And there are well over 200 episodes of that. Other videos on his channel include his room tour and his studio, like his Thomas room tour, and including his actual collection videos, where he may point out some of the rarest toys in the range. So we're doing that, and we've done the Unlucky Tug. Now, should I really include this guy? Yes, he makes Thomas content, and yes, okay, his channel is full of it. But his channel name would suggest that a lot of his content would be about Tugs, Thomas's sister show. So, now, speaking of, okay, now, we also have the Melting Potteries, which, well, what got me into his channel is his Sodorama series of reviews, where he reviews every series and every special/movie. And just to be clear, every series from the classic model series to the end of the Big World Big Adventures era. No, we don't talk about All Engines Go. No, we don't talk about that. So, anyway, I think that I've highlighted enough of these channels now. If there's any I've forgotten to highlight, let me know in the comments below this video, please. But it could be because I haven't seen any of their content, and so haven't subscribed to their channels. But I will be leaving links to the channels I've mentioned down below, if I can, so you can check them out for yourselves. I do recommend it. Now, if you were expecting me to highlight people like James A. Williams, then you should have known from the start that I wasn't going to highlight his channel because it's not strictly a Thomas channel. Yes, he has Thomas content on there, but not a Thomas channel. And as a matter of fact, in the next episode, which will be a part 2 of this, we are going to talk about Thomas content from non-Thomas channels. Okay, so... But until then, If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a some magical time.